Sweet Science Sports.
It's the sweet one.
Ding ding, motherfuckers.
What's up, folks? Sweet Science Sports McDojo, the sweetest sports sharing them all, and this is your man's, BG Aloysius. And today, I want to talk about the face of boxing, right? Before I get into this, I want to say congratulations to Canelo Alvarez for his win yesterday. I did not watch the fight because I already knew what the outcome was going to be. He was Canelo's sparring partner, so I already knew Canelo had that win in the bag. So I just watched the highlights this morning, so it wasn't really a match that interested me. Now, if we fight Billy Joe Saunders, I'm going to watch that. But anyway, I did a poll 3 days ago, all right? And it said I put a poll on my community tab asking who is the face of boxing. And I put 5 people up. I put Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and the retired Floyd, Manny Mayweather. All right, and what's amazing to me is that people did not pick Canelo Alvarez to be the face. All right, they picked Anthony Joshua. So this is what they have: 28% says Anthony Joshua is the face of boxing. Right. 15% says Tyson Fury, 19% says Canelo Alvarez, 17% says Manny Pacquiao, and 21% says the retired Floyd Money Mayweather. All right, so that puts Canelo at number 3 according to my poll, and these are what other people has voted in on. So this is not my opinions, all right? So Canelo with Anthony Joshua number 1, Floyd Mayweather number 2, Canelo number 3, Pacquiao number 4, and Tyson Fury number 5. All right. And so I always heard or felt myself that Canelo was the face of boxing today because he's the money man and everybody love him, and you know how it is. But see, my thing is I want to go find out why a lot of people don't believe Canelo Alvarez is the face. I'm going to go to this article, people, all right? Now, last time I did something on Canelo Alvarez, all the little fanboys came after me, even though I said I respect Canelo's skill and all that stuff. They came after me, so I am going to go to this article where somebody else is saying basically what other people are saying about Canelo and the reason why they think he is not the face of boxing. All right, they think Anthony Joshua is. All right, but let me go over here. The name of this article is called "Canelo Alvarez's Journey to Undisputed. Does Anyone Care?" All right, and this article was written right before he fought Yeardelim. All right. So this is before he fought Yeardelim. Okay. This article is written by Sean Jones. Okay, it says Canelo Alvarez's decision to become the undisputed super middleweight champion in a division is weak as water, will result in the entire 2021 year devoted to him beating substandard champions and an inactive mandatory contender coming off a loss. He talked about Yeardelim, all right? I forgot to mention that he was coming off a loss too, and he was inactive. I forgot all about that too. That's a problem that some people have. Then it goes on to say that fans don't care about Canelo unifying the 168-pound division. Canelo's decision to become the undisputed champion is nothing but a foxhole for Alvarez to hide out from the talented opposition that could push him, give him trouble, and potentially beat him. Alvarez's goal of unifying that 168-pound division is gone over the head of the average fan who have no idea who these belt holders are in the division. All right. Canelo not facing the best. All right, so they already think that the division that Canelo is trying to unify is a weak division. All right, this is what people say, not what I say. All right, Canelo was not facing the best. Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, and Caleb Plant, those are no-name fighters with meager talent. Some people don't think that, though. We just saw how poor IBF champion Plant failed to put away an old Caleb Truex. I don't know how to say his name. Some would say Canelo choosing to make it a goal for him to become the four-belt champion at 168 as justification for him Some would say Canelo choosing to make it a goal for him to become the four-belt champion at 168 as justification for him making easy money fighting lackluster opposition on the zone. Canelo's next fight, well, we already know about that. Okay. Well, he said the fight with Yildirim is just one example of him making a lot of dough on the zone without needing to risk his hide against the likes of Jermell Charlo, Dmitry Bivol, Gennady Golovkin, David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, and Artur Beterbiev. I always mess his name up. Yeah, I know Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, and Billy Joe Saunders were and are technically champions at super middleweight, but they are not anywhere close to being elite. And some people think that Caleb Plant or Billy Joe Saunders can't beat Canelo, though. Some people do think that. They beaten great opposition, none of them, before moving up to 168. Saunders was the weakest link among the champions at 160 from 2015 to 2019. Again, not my opinion, his. I don't know a lot about Billy Joe, but he's a champion. Anyone that saw Callum Smith fight John Ryder in 2019 know that he was just a paper champion with his WBA 168-pound strap. Smith wasn't the number one fighter at 168, as Canelo and his trainer Eddie Reynoso repeatedly said. All right, so he already said that Smith was not the number one fighter at 168. All right, my cats over there fighting, hissing at each other. All right. Then it goes on to say, Alvarez not giving the fans what they want. It's disappointing that Canelo could be so obtuse about what the boxing public wants from him in terms of opposition. They don't care about Canelo's superficial goal of uniting the 168-pound division against a trio of weak champions. In this case, is this a case of Canelo being an opportunist to take advantage of the subpar champions at 168, or does he really believe that unifying the division will interest the fans? I mean, I think anybody trying to unify the division is of an interest. But like he is saying, people have a problem with the division being weak. All right. If Canelo is naive enough to believe that him becoming the undisputed champion is going to hold interest from the average fan, he's kidding them. He's kidding themselves. He might have meant to say he's kidding himself. I don't understand why they don't spell check before they put these articles up. But anyway, the boxing public isn't going to want to subscribe to the zone in high numbers to watch Canelo dominate his mediocre crew, Yildirim, Saunders, and Plant. Canelo can more traction from the world fan base and help bring in subscribers to the zone if he were to fight these guys only during 2021. And he said he would like to see Canelo fight these people. Some of these, not all of them, because that's a lot of fights. Jamal Charlo, Triple G, Bivol, Beterbiev, Joe Smith Jr., Andrade, and David Benavidez. All right, and a lot of people want Canelo to fight these guys. Canelo's fights against Saunders and Plant, both crafty, weak punching, spoiler type fighters, are going to end in a boring 12-round decision. There's no way Canelo, with his stamina problems, is going to be able to knock out Saunders and Plant. Those guys are not easy to hit, and they can take a good shot. For the fans that haven't been paying attention, Canelo's punch output has dipped since he moved up to 168. He does not throw a lot of shots now, and he's mostly a one punch at a time, Adrian Broner type of fighter now. I can't give him that. I don't think Canelo's a Adrian Broner type fighter. His input has went down, but he still is winning. Unlike AB, who won the fight that he actually lost from a guy that he should have beat convincingly. All right, not a gifted decision. All right, so next on the article, it says offense-minded fighters needed for Canelo. Offensive-minded fighters needed for Canelo. Canelo's win over Callum Smith was incredibly boring. Watching him plow his way to a 12-round decision last December, it's not going to be any different when Canelo gets in there with the runners, Saunders, and Plant. And I can agree that the match was kind of boring. Canelo did look spectacular, but I believe that Canelo should have took out Callum Smith earlier. I just thought that he should have. I didn't think that should have been a 12-round fight the way Canelo was controlling the guy. All right, those guys are going to make it hard for Canelo to hit them. And he talking about Saunders and Plant and stuff. And he'll end up winning an ugly decision. Those fights are going to be equivalent to junk television. Something that's watched for mindless entertainment and then instantly forgotten. For Canelo to be exciting to watch, he needs to fight offensive-minded fighters. Again, he said for Canelo to be exciting to watch, he needs to fight offensive-minded fighters. Like Triple G, which both those fights was fucking excellent. The Canelo when Triple G fights, both of them. All right, they got Charlo, Joe Smith Jr., Benavidez, and Bivol. These guys arguably are the murderers row at 168 and 175. In other words, fighters that are going to come to him and try to knock his block off with every punch. Plant and Sanders are not going to make it exciting because they're mostly just jab and run. It's awful to watch them fight. Canelo is making sure that he doesn't have to worry about getting knocked out like he would if he would fought the above-mentioned murderers row. Apart from Triple G, Benavidez, and Charlo, there's not much at 168 for Canelo to have exciting fights. That's why he needs to move up to 175 to face the kind of guys that will bring out the best in him. I'm thinking 175. He'll end up getting beat up there. To me, he'll end up getting beat at 175 eventually, because those are not small guys. Canelo's not a big guy himself, but anyway. All right, this writer isn't trying to get Canelo beaten by suggesting that he face the elite level fighters instead of what he's planning on doing. All right. Then he goes on and says, fans don't care about Canelo's trivial unification. For Canelo and the boxing public's sake, he needs to forget about his insignificant goal of unifying the super middleweight division and instead put his energy elsewhere towards actually fighting the best. Saunders and Plant are paper champions and not the real thing. Who's going to unify it though? I mean, really. I understand that people believe it's a weak division, but who's going to unify it? I think he should move up to 175. If he's going to unify the division, let him unify the division. He's still probably going to be moving up and down weights to fight people. So, I mean, hey, let him do his goal. He can have his goal of unifying, and that's cool. I think he'd be the first unified Mexican champion, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me continue on. It would only matter in the eyes of the boxing world if Canelo were to unify a division that was loaded at the top with talented champions. Who could argue with Canelo trying to become the undisputed champion if these guys were belt holders? And they went through the same list, Benavidez, Bivol, Charlo and all that. So the same list. Canelo would have all he could handle any of those guys. He cannot write. But at least we'll be able to see him fighting the best for a change. It's been 3 years since Canelo fought his last great opponent in Triple G, and that there are still fans shaking their heads about what the Nevada judges were thinking when they gave Alvarez the decision. The fight was too close for Canelo to move on, and yet that is what he did. And he's making excuses ever since for why he doesn't need to face Triple G again. I think he needs to, because if the first was a draw, he won the second one. I think he deserved to give Triple G another chance. All right. Okay. All right. The fans will be more sympathetic to Canelo if he were fighting talented guys like Benavidez, Charlo, Bivol, but he's not doing that. Canelo is facing the weakest of the weak in Callum Smith, which he already fought and beat. Saunders, Plant, and Yildirim, which he beat. All right, how about Canelo fighting Benavidez? Is it too much to ask of Canelo to want to fight Benavidez, Triple G, Benavidez, or Charlo? I don't think it is. If Canelo is the so-called face of boxing and the #1 pound-for-pound guy, shouldn't he be fighting those fighters rather than the guys that he's going to be facing in 2021? Alright, Canelo is getting a boatload of money for each fight on the zone, and I think he should start earning it by fighting the opposition that fans want to see and that will bring in the subscribers. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Canelo is tone deaf to what the fans want to see, and it's not going to work for him to shove the inferior fights against Yildirim, Saunders, and Plant down. He cannot. Down our collective throats this year. I think I speak for everyone when I say that Canelo needs to give his fans what they want by taking on Triple G, BF, and Benavidez in 2021, which is not going to happen. Boxing is about entertainment, and Canelo is badly missing the mark by his decision to devote all of 2021 to unify the 168 division. Canelo has been off the mark since his controversial win over Triple G in 2018. I mean, like, let him. I don't see a problem with Canelo trying to unify our division. All right. He's 30. He's still in his prime, so it doesn't matter if he take this year to unify. He still got years left. He probably got a good 5 more years, maybe. All right. So ever since after fighting Triple G, ever since then, Canelo has taken an easy path fighting Rocky Fielding, Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs, my man. So I don't think that was an easy thing. And plus, some people. I got to watch that fight because some people say I need to watch that fight over and see. All right, Sergey Kovalev and Callum Smith. If the zone can't see what Canelo is doing, it's disappointing. The boxing guys should point out to them that Canelo is not fighting the best in his fights on the zone. He's taking a bunch of safe fights and making good money. The streaming giant should insist on Canelo fighting the likes of Benavidez. He wanted them to fight them so damn bad. The list that he's giving on. What the zone needs on their network are fighters that are willing to face the best each time out rather than shooting for the lowest common denominator. Now that's what a lot of these boxers are doing today. Doing that, exactly what the man says. So, this is the reason why some people say that Canelo is not the face of boxing, because they say he is taking the easy route. Many people will many people will argue against that. A lot of Canelo fanboys, not fans but fanboys, I'm talking about those trolls, they would not take this lightly, and it would butt hurt them because people feel like Canelo was not the face, and because they feel like he's facing weak opposition and weak champions. All right, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to unify 168, go ahead. We may never see him fight the likes of Charlo and BF and Bivol, and you know what I'm saying? We might never see that. So it is what it is. So from what my understanding is that people are choosing Anthony Joshua over Canelo because Anthony Joshua is fighting everybody. Alright, so I don't know what to say about that, folks, but man, that's about it, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the poll that I dropped. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this article. I'm gonna leave the link in. This guy just went in on Canelo, and a lot of people feel the same way. I'm up in the air about it. L168 might be a weaker division to others and stuff, but you still got grown-ass men fighting grown-ass men, and somebody has to unify the division. And at least Canelo will be a undisputed champion for the first time. Hey, get it how you live. Nobody complaining about Earl Spence in the welterweight division, knowing he should be fighting at 154 or 160 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, it is what it is, man. Y'all, again, y'all tell me what y'all think. Hey, man, y'all check me out on all my social media. Y'all can go to my About page to check that out. All right? Y'all like, subscribe, comment, share. Hey man, this is Sweet Science Sports with Jojo, the sweetest sports channel in them all, and this is your man's BG Aloysius. And y'all do one last thing for me. Y'all just keep banging. Until next time, folk, peace.
Ding ding, motherfuckers.